And welcome to another episode of 2MMRC. And today I'm going to talk about the Traxxas Slash and the Traxxas Slash class. So a bit of background. In the fall and winter months in Vancouver, Canada, there's essentially two different avenues to go racing. You can do indoor on-road racing, which I've covered before, and that's with overgear racing. And then you can do indoor off-road racing, and that's going to be with Outlaw RC, and that's where this vehicle is intended to race. It is a Traxxas Slash, all Traxxas parts other than the tires and the wheels, and it conforms to the Traxxas Spec Slash class. Spec Racing has worked really well with Overgear Racing with their Tamiya program, and I'm going to give this a shot, and hopefully we can make this thing grow in Outlaw RC. The Spec Racing did really well for the on-road club. Let's see if it can replicate that type of success with the off-road club. So let's take a look at the inside of this Spec Slash. So as I mentioned before, tires are not Traxxas, but that's something new to the program. I'll get into that later, but we're going to start off with the body. It's a Traxxas Slash two-wheel drive body, clipless design, which is nice and easy. I do like this clipless design. It's not going to harm the carpet when your truck flips over and starts rubbing against the carpet. That's one of the nice features of the clipless design. It's also very easy to use, so that's another feature. Now, the vehicle itself, getting into this class is one of the main reasons why I like it. Basically, for under $500, all in, you can have a working vehicle. When you buy this kit, it's like $399. I think that's the map price on it right now. Then you add your battery and charger, and you're at about $500. That's the most bare basic way that you can get into this. But there are things that I've done to this vehicle that are a little bit different and a little bit not out of the box. First things first, you will notice that it's got the LCG Slash chassis on there. That is an excellent addition for a vehicle that you intend to race. You can race with the regular tub, but having this on there just adds that extra coolness factor, and it does create a better performing vehicle as well. So that's something that I'll recommend. If you're going to get into this class, once you've tried it, look into getting the LCG chassis. This one's the black one in particular. It just seems to tie it well together with everything else. The Slash Spec class that Outlaw is going to run, it's going to be a Traxxas vehicle with only Traxxas components other than your tires and wheels, which in this case I'm going to use fuzz bites in the rear and swaggers in the front from J Concepts. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, they do require an aftermarket bumper piece from RPM. Now, because I've got the 272 Magnum transmission, I don't know if that's going to be necessary because of the way that the 272 Magnum transmission is built. But I do have that RPM piece with me. I just don't have it available at this very moment. But yeah, basically, if you have a regular gearbox, not a 272, you're probably going to need that because of how the transmission hangs off of the back of the truck. Other changes that I did to a regular stock Slash, the BL2 system is a nice addition. That is going to allow you to have brushless capability. You can still run the 12-turn Titan. It actually performs better. It performs better than a BL2 system. The problem is there's maintenance required and it gets hot. So as it gets hot and as it wears down, that motor just doesn't perform like it did since day one. Whereas with the BL2S system, you will get the motor performing the same since day one. Other things are different. Yeah. You can add a different battery in there. They're allowing other batteries to be used. So in this case, I am using a Gens Ace Shorty Pack 2-cell, of course, hard case. Absolutely necessary. Hard case, you can't put a soft pack in there. I've also tied everything together in the back with my receiver, which doesn't have to be a Traxxas receiver. In this case, it's my NB4 receiver, and I've hidden my transponder with a chunk of foam as well, just to make sure that it's protected, and it looks kind of cool and sleek that way as well. Other additions to counterbalance the weight of the BL2S. I couldn't find any tire weights, so I just decided to put a loonie, a Canadian dollar coin on the opposite side, just to help balance out the vehicle. The vehicle that I got was a Traxxas Slash kit, so it came with turnbuckles already. That's really, I wouldn't say essential, but very important to have those turnbuckles. That'll allow you to change your camber settings and your alignment settings as well with the tow. Another addition is the shock caps. The metal shock caps. I have experience with these Ultra Shocks. The plastic ones are completely fine as is. One area that does need some strengthening is the caps. Under a large jump landing, your plastic shops are probably going to pop. These metal ones will give it a bit more grip so that they won't be likely to pop as easily. For the toe, I've got it at half a degree out in the front, and camber is 1 degree in all around. It doesn't look that way on camera, but again, when I put a flat battery right next to my rear wheels and under compression, you can see that there is some daylight there. That's going to indicate that I've got this at about 1 degree when it's set up and ready to go. Right now it's very light, and there are optical illusions with the camera as well, so that's why it looks a little different. But believe me, it's 1 degree all around for camber. Everything goes in nicely. And another addition is the servo saver. It comes standard with the Traxxas vehicle. However, the 2075X is not standard. The standard one, I believe, is a 6.5, which is basically a blue servo with plastic gears inside. It's rather cheesy. It'll get the job done, but it's nothing special. So I changed it out with the all-metal gear 2075X, which will allow it to be a bit more durable during an entire race season. And then finally, the BL2S is paired to I guess the elephant in the room is the 272 Magnum transmission, 272R Magnum transmission, which I have modified a little bit. I've ripped off the cover, and I have a red aluminum heatsink on it as well. So the 272 Magnum transmission, compared to the stock transmission, it's heavier, but at the same time, it's much more robust, and it gives you a lot more ease of tuning. My issue with the original transmission is you're basically bolting your motor onto a plastic gearbox with a plastic bulkhead. Now, with the Magnum transmission, not only is it easier to change my gear ratios because I'm simply sliding my motor forward and backwards as opposed to curving it up, I can also mount that motor directly to this metal motor plate, so there's no issues of my motor melting the gearbox. Now again, if you're starting out in this class, it's perfectly fine. The whole point of this class is to learn a vehicle and to graduate into another vehicle or another class a little down the line. So, if you want to, upgrade to a 272 Magnum transmission. If you don't need to, then don't. What I'll do now is, so recently in the last couple of months, the 272R Magnum transmission has been, I guess, discontinued. So you can't really go buy the entire unit. But you can get every individual component to make the 272R Magnum transmission. So I'll show that to you now. So now that you've seen the components to manufacture your own or assemble your own 272R transmission, I'll also show you what I did to my shocks, which is a little bit different from what you would get on your standard normal Traxxas Ultra XL shocks. Catch you guys later. That's the shitty part, man. I have a lot of good customers. They are our business. So yeah, basically creating some aeration dampers out of a very basic shock. And also camber links. These are the upgraded extra heavy duty drive shafts. Any drive shaft will do. These ones just happen to be the ones that came with the kit, and they're very readily available. But any drive shafts will do. If you have the older versions, not a problem. If you want to upgrade to metal versions that are Traxxas, hey, power to you. Do your thing. And once again, as you can see, having that chunk of foam right here does make this a bit more cleaner, hides a lot of the stuff underneath there, and it also prevents potentially like your transponder from flying out of your vehicle. Those are expensive units, and you kind of don't want to lose those. So that's the Traxxas Spec Slash in a nutshell. One thing that I'm going to probably adjust is my droop. Right now, it's fully loaded and I drop it from about 6 inches, I do notice that I have a lot of rear droop and a lot of front droop. So on a carpet setting where your jumps aren't too high, if you want your car to be a bit more agile and less potential to roll over, simply add rubber O-rings inside your shocks so that you can you can limit the amount of droop. That's a lot. That's a lot of droop. Okay, yeah, another thing. I've removed the Traxxas connector on my BL2S speed control. I've replaced them with 5mm connectors, and that'll allow me to use my hardcase shorty LiPo from Gen's Ace. And yeah, otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward kit. Again, one of the reasons why I like promoting and supporting a class like this is because it does grow a club. Rather than telling someone, hey, go buy a four-wheel drive buggy to start. I mean, that's a lot of power in a four-wheel drive buggy. And at the same time, you may build it wrong if you're buying new. Again, we're going to compare apples to apples. It's only new product. You could go out there and you can buy the Fast Guy's car from last year, and you'll get a head start. But I always recommend people to buy new and build it. So this again is the two-wheel drive slash kit. With the slash kit, after it comes with a remote, comes with the speed control on the motor. So after you've bought your charger and your battery, you're at about the $500 range Canadian, and that puts you in a good position to start. Then you can decide if you want. You could run the regular Slash tires, but they're allowing it Outlaw to run these type of tires, which are regular pin carpet tires. This is great in my opinion because you'll be able to get a better feel of the car with appropriate tires, and as you get better in your driving, not only can you run in the Slash class, but you can also run in the regular short course class because you'll have a competitive vehicle with an LCG chassis and the proper tires, so you don't have to slide around with the stock Slash tires. Once you get to that point, you'll probably upgrade your BL2S system to a proper 13.5 censored, so that's something to think about down the line. But yeah, this is an excellent way just to get started, and to get started the right way, which is to get into a hobby, building a new kit, understanding everything as you go. There are no shortcuts. I mean, there are, but it's not advised for you to take them. Do it this way, appreciate the hobby, learn, and grow with it. So that's all in a nutshell. Thanks very much, and have a great day. Oh, I forgot to talk about the remote upgrading to an NB4. There it is. Found the red 2mm driver.